Hi, this is Melanie for Pardesi. I've just come back from seeing the new Telugu film Hello, starring Akhil Akkineni, Nagarjuna's son, and a debut female actress, Kalyani Priyadarshan, and notably playing the adopted parents of Akhil, Sinu in the film, is Ramya Krishna from Bahubali, and Sivagami, and Jagapati Babu as his adoptive father. Now, it was a romance with some action elements, but you should go in knowing this is basically one of those melodramatic child romances. They're separated in childhood, and then how are they going to ever find each other again, kind of things. And there's a significant amount of time in the first half of the film, maybe about a half an hour, that is spent on the childhood story, and it was very nice. The child actors were quite good. This director is Vikram Kumar, and he has directed a couple of my favorite Telugu films. So I had some high expectations. He directed 24, and he directed Manam, which Akhil had a cameo appearance in his family's, magnum opus. So this film was trying to set up this magical, epic romance, and it is very sweet, but I don't know that the actors quite had that chemistry, and just sometimes there's just like magic pixie dust in the chemistry of actors that makes a romance really epic and beautiful. And it was nice, and it was a very decent, nice film, but it wasn't epic, okay? And it wasn't as great as maybe I could have had. Now, some really good elements of the film are the action sequences. So there's some flashbacks and, time shifting and whatever in that. We get a flashback as to the action scenes revolve Akhil, Sinu's character, as an adult. His phone is stolen just when he thinks he's going to reconnect with his long-lost love from childhood. And so he goes on a parkour kind of race through the streets of Hyderabad and the rooftops after the phone thief, and then confronts, the phone scammers and whatever, and gets into big fist fights and so forth. So Akhil, I thought, was excellent in those segments. The action segments, when the baddies are after him and he's doing the fights, and especially when he's doing very gymnastic flips over things and almost gymnastic kind of moves, off of poles and whatever, those were awesome. I think that was really something that was suited to him. The other thing that I found really delightful was his relationship as an adult son with Ramya and Jagapati. Oh my gosh. It was a delight seeing them in that role as his loving adoptive parents. He's a street urchin as a child, and then I won't say how, but they encounter him in a dramatic encounter, and he's adopted. And then the moment when he calls each of them mother and father separately, separate scenes, were so well acted, and wow, they're really, really great scenes, a really light, wonderful touch, but bringing that emotion, both of them in those scenes, was really awesome. That's something I felt a real connection in those couple moments, and that's what I didn't necessarily feel, that depth of emotion with the romance. The film was trying to get me there, and I'm just not sure that I ever developed that real emotional connection where when the payoff happened, that I just felt like, the release, so, finally, I don't know. I just felt myself still at a remove watching it and not completely connecting to these characters' stories. And part of it, I thought Akhil was fine. He wasn't exceptional necessarily in all of those scenes, but I thought he did have some charm to him. Maybe not quite as much as his brother, who is more accomplished and has several films under his belt, but he could get there. You know what I mean? This is only his second film. I think he has a charm to him. He could go places. The young actress, it was her debut, and I mean, she can't help, in my eyes, but be contrasted with Sai Pallavi, who I just saw last night, who has so much screen presence and so much verve and spirit. I mean, granted, this was a different kind of role, but I just, you know, I personally can't help comparing somebody who is just so talented and has so much screen presence with this young woman, Kalyani. I mean, she was fine. She just wasn't to that level. She wasn't Sai Pallavi level for me. So, I mean, she's not the kind of person where I'm like, I have to see every other film that this girl has ever done. You know, so she could, this is only her debut. She could go on to better things. As far as the music numbers, the music was very good in this film. Really catchy tunes. The wedding dance number was exceptional. Both of them danced quite well, but I was really impressed with Akhil's dancing. You know, he just has sort of this athletic grace to him that translated well in the way that he moved his body in all of the dance sequences, and I just thought he has some talents there. So, not that he's the best ever, but I'm just saying he really has some talents in the action and in the dance sequences. And these are songs that I would go back and seek out. The songs last night in MCA were just and these are really, really catchy tunes that I really, really enjoyed. So, it's not the greatest film in the world, but it's definitely one you could bring your whole family to. It's wholesome family entertainment. You know, the other thing that let me down is I just didn't think the villain was kind of generic and not, I mean, that's kind of sometimes what you need is like a really exceptional, interesting villain, and I don't know, it just wasn't all there for me. There could have been more in the bad guy characters to keep your interest in the story. Let me know what you thought, if you also saw this film by Akhil Akkineni and Kalyani. I really like this director, and I think he tried his best. For me, it's not to the heights of 24 or Banam, but it was a very enjoyable film. And like I said, it's a good all-over family entertainer. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, please share it. Press that like button. I'd love for you to subscribe to Pardesi, and if you press the bell, then you'll get a notification whenever we have a new video posted. And follow us on Twitter at PardesiYT.